Well then, this is gonna be, it's been a while since I've done this, but this time, especially with this chapter of Fairy Tail, even I have to go, hang on a second, there's some grade A bullshit in this chapter. Don't get me wrong, this entire chapter is, like, not bad. Like, I want to, like, just say that straight up. There are, like, those parts in it that I was like, alright, setting out stuff, and then definitely, like, the Irene, like, Aline stuff is very, like, you know, I was like, okay, there was some stuff, and to be fair, Hiromashima probably did troll us in a way where he's like trying to get us like a little bit on the leg where it's like, oh, are they mother and sister? Oh, are they sister and youngest sister? Oh, what's going on with between those two? Like, alright, so I appreciate that stuff, but everything, and I mean everything involving Mavis, that's what we've got to talk about first, because, yeah, I know a lot of people had a big controversy with her coming back, but my thing with it, when I put my foot down on it, is exactly how Gajiel came back and how, like, the way she's even existing right now, like, really, really fucking frustrates me. So first, we don't get any more information about one of the theories of origin. Like, she just goes to confront Gajiel. I can't, like, there's still that personality of Sarah. It's just like, oh, I don't like meeting new people and everything. It's like, I'm not good at it. It's like, alright, that's like, they brought that back stuff, and it's just like, what, like, so like, Gajiel's asking me, so what, are we in heaven or hell? Like, you know, ask me right now. And like, this is the result, by complete happening, like, it's like a powerful magic distort the world itself, resulting in everyone being transferred into random, like, locations, and he was on the verge of being drawn into the underworld, and Irene's magic pretty much just transferred him away, which, I'm like, okay, that's not exactly, like, I mean, it would have been more interesting, I think, like, if there was a reason saying, like, oh, Zera, like, since she's, like, one of the fairies of origin, she used holy magic to stop him, like, going to the underworld or something like that, where it's just, like, that's the thing about it, and it's just, like, I honestly thought that would have been really cool if he did something like that. It's like, you know, if there was a case about it, like, talking about it, and I know that people say, oh, but he was, like, you know, from what we saw, like, when he was going against Ratman, like, you know, he was just over-exaggerating. Well, to be fair, his whole body was getting sucked fucking in at that point, like that. You could have even said, like, oh, Irene put, like, you know, after, like, that whole thing of that, like, you know, Zera butted in and used some kind of magic to reverse the happenings in any way that magic was doing, breaking him down. It's like, yeah, it was just like, oh, last minute he was like, I don't know, it just sounds like, and I think, like, everyone's issue, and I said about the whole Gajiel thing before, is that my issue with the whole thing is that it's happening too soon, and it's the same thing I've had, like I said, with a lot of, like, Heroes chapters, is that it happens too soon, and then when you get into the anime, that's where it gets, like, happens, whoa, now we're talking at fast pace, where it's like, you didn't have the time to fucking breathe before you, like, see, like, Gajiel disappear. So, like, when the anime comes back, this is gonna look way, way more, like, ridiculous. However, though, an interesting fact is that, like, they're on Temro Island right now, which is fused to the actual land, and I thought, that's actually kind of cool, like, you know, like, since they're talking about all of Fior, all the continent, including the islands, and I love the fact that, like Temrojima, like, has been fused. I think that's a really cool thing. And now, let's talk about how Zera come into it, which is, that's another thing. By another coincidence, like that, I had to put, like, coincidence there, like that, Mavis has been in this long state of stasis, and when she woke up, she activated again. Like, and, you know, born/revived, her powers were reset, but it's like, oh, but once she remembers me, like that, it's like, you know, once my, like, subconscious, like, kind of, like, came out of there, it's like, that's where I'm gone, and that's, you know, this is only a temporary thing, and I'm like, there could have been so many other ways to fucking handle this, like that. It's, you know, like, you know, saying, like, oh, I've been revived, and I guess I'll put up my weight. What? It would have been, like, really cool if, like, some way, like, the original Zera, after she died, became this, and she saw everything that happened with Mavis, like, after that point. I feel like that would have been cool, like, she saw that, and then it's like, oh, she finally, like, you know, saw, like, exactly what the whole, like, Mavis that she was talking about, like, you know, when she was like, oh, this is, like, the Zera that she's talking about, and then the Zera decided to act like that. It's like, you know, I'd appreciate saying this is a one-time thing, like, Gajiel, and even with the communication thing, even if she did that at the end, it's like, alright, then you just do that, and then you go off and, like, you know, that's everything about it, but it's like, like, it just feels too, like, oh, very convenient, like, at this point, like, happening, and it's just, like, it doesn't meld into the story, like, very good at all, and it just makes the chapter really bad. It just makes more and more reasons of Zera being here more stupid, I feel. Although there was a thing that, like, a lot of people probably didn't catch, like, is that, you know, oh, you could hear my voice and see me right now, and it's like, Mavis has gotten a lot stronger, so I think that might be setting up like something with Mavis, where it's like, maybe she might try and fight back against Zeref, maybe she might try and fight back against other people that try taking her, like, so we might see a little bit of Mavis, like, trying to go in, maybe, like, she's, like, the illusions now are getting way, way real, where she's just making actual real things at this point. She can just, like, sprung up, you know, that giant 10-row, like, wolf that she made, like, all those years ago. Fuck it, that thing's real now, and that's gonna attack. And then when we get to see, like, the other part with Natsu and the gang, turns out they've actually met up with both Gray, Judy, and Urza, and they're all confused right now. They're like, what the fuck is going on, you know, like, we need to find this shit out, you know, she's, like, really beat up, we need to, like, take care of this, and it's just, like, the fact that, like, you know, like, Irene is there, and it's, like, just at the fucking capital, and just beating the dog shit out of everyone, and just, the king is just like, don't, you know, don't, like, please, I leave my daughter, spare her, like that. It's just like, she just fucking transforms her into, like, a mouse, and it's just like, can you really look in that mouse's eye and all that and say in that pathetic form, can you truly look at her in the eyes and say you love her? And just like, the king, like, being like, as much as he adores his, like, daughter, and he's just like, I will always love her, you fiend, like that, and he's just like, oh, what a fucking bore. How, like, and then we get another thing with, like, her, is that her fucking eye, like, has this kind of, like, symbol, like, this cross in it at all. I was like, that's actually really cool that she's got this, like, giant cross in her eye, and then she can use this power where she felt a sensation and used her eye to look at her surroundings, and she saw Urza, and she was like, Scarlet Head. So she had no idea about Urza probably even being alive or being still around, that it's like one of the Fairy Tail members, and it's just like, so, and with how the next chapter is being set up to be called Elder Sister and Younger Sister, it's like, where the fuck are we even talking? Like, you know, because, like, the whole thing about the mother part in this chapter, which I was like, really? That's where you got, like, mother and daughter? Like, it was like the whole Mavis talking about, oh, she's like the mother, like, to her daughter, like, in a way, it's like, that's really kind of reaching it, but okay, I guess I'm gonna have to accept that as well. Like, as you can see, there's, like, it's a bunch of fucking stuff in this chapter that's just, like, really just felt like maybe this should have been something entirely else. If you couldn't think about good ways to, like, address with the history stuff, then fuck it. You should have just had it with, like, a chapter with Urza, with fucking Gray and Julia. You should have just had it with them trying to find their way and trying to fight some guy, and then to kind of finish things off with that, like that was, like, you know, like, everything that Zera is saying, that she's giving people directions to the guild and like, directing them back. We got set up with a fight, we got to see what Juliet's son and Haikyu and, like Moonsi, I believe her name is that, like, the two elites from Eileen's squad, is that the funny thing is that they're fighting all of, like, you know, Makarov and everyone else, and it's just like, they're just beating the dog shit, and their powers are the most interesting thing, because I thought it would be something to do with the with the sun and moon, obviously, because that's within their name, and I thought that would have been something kind of cool, like, you know, she could manipulate sun, and she could manipulate, you know, moonlight in some way to make an energy blast. No, like, it seems like she makes some kind of, like, sticky, like, substance, like, with Juliet. Like, she's able to make some kind of sticky substance around people, and it's like, that's, I don't know how you kill people with that, or, like, unless you just shove it down like Goblin, they just, like, drown from it. And, like, like, kind of, like, her magic is that she can, like, make plants, from what it looks like, and it's just, like, she's just, like, a lot more efficient version of Droy, for the most part. It's like, she just ties them up, and then she uses her own physical strength to execute, which I'm like, okay, if you're going to combine it, that sounds like a cool thing, but it's like, oh, you want to go and take out Makarov? And then they see, like, a Mira Jen, it's like, oh, she's fucking powerful and all that with Formula, but, like, they're not underestimating from what it looks like, so it's like, they're going to be fighting Mira Jane, we're probably going to have a Mira Jane fight with that, and like, okay, I wanted a mirror, it would have been cool if my mirror for Irene L, I thought that would have been a cool thing, but fuck it, fight our elites and see if they're, like, worth anything. Oh, they're just not immediately bopped, but, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, they're not exactly Spriggans, but it's like, I'm curious to see what they can do. We'll have to wait and see it. And then, like I said, the chapter ended with Mavis, like, Hedda, who pretty much informs everyone by doing like that one fucker's magic like in the guild that's like the only use of him, ends up communicating all of them and saying head towards the guild and make haste, so you know, return to the guild and to make the side and protect her. And you know, everyone just accepts this, just like, you know, she's like a mother figure to you, and it's like, you know, you gotta do that. And it's just like coming out to the end of it, it's like, look, it has a lot of fucking problems, right? Like, but I think like a lot of people on us can agree that I think the Julia and the Haikyu stuff was like fine. Well, like with the two of them, like now getting a setup fight with Mira, having that going down, and you know, I think that's fine. Everything with Eileen, whichever pronunciation you want to say, I thought was kind of interesting, and it's like, I feel like there's a little bit more to like exactly with her, and seeing that she's got some weird kind of magic with the eye, which honestly the cross reminded me, like, honestly, I thought that was like something to do with like Ursa's armor. That's what it like looked like. Maybe that's some kind of like cross symbol or something where she had like the cross on there. So I was really curious about that. It's like, you know, what exactly is going to be doing, but at least now we know that, especially with her, is that they like, at least she knows that, you know, exactly that Ursa is around. So whether or not next chapter is elder sister, younger sister, we're gonna have to wait and see if they are that, or if like Hero is trolling us again, because I'm pretty sure everyone fucking thought, like for a second, for a heartbeat, that Elliot was all about to do with this chapter. We thought it was going to be about like exactly them. We thought that was going to be mother and daughter, but then it's really hard to tell with fairy tale characters or most anime characters whether they're mother and daughter or sisters like that. Because like, look at how young she is. Like, compare it, like, you honestly think, like, and no joke, you think, like, she's, like, in her 20s, in her mid-20s, but then you find out with, like, some characters, it's like, oh, I'm in my 50s, or I'm in, like, something else, it's, like, ridiculous 30, it's, like, so it's honestly hard to tell at this point, but we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen, but, yeah, the whole stuff with Zara is incredibly stupid. Why she's around, this, like, whole fact that immediately that Mavis just forgot about her, and it's just, like, there's a lot of annoying stuff, like, I think you really could have repaired this if this was the real Zara and she did die, and she was like some sort of like, she knew that like one of them was heading to like the underworld because of the symbol like on them would have been like a marker, and it's like she can only use this like once. It takes a vast amount of like magical like power, and the last bit that she was going to do was inform everyone to like tell you where the guild was and guide everyone to that way. I think that would have been better. Like, I've talked too long about this chapter, like. So other than that, like, score wise, like, yeah, like, even for me, a fairy tale fan, like, I'll say my truth when I don't like a chapter. I'm not just gonna do it because, oh, I'm the fairy tale guy now. No, I'm gonna let you guys know truthfully. Like, you guys deserve that. I'm not just gonna defend every fucking chapter there is. Like, I'll say I fucking hate the Avatar stuff, and I really don't fucking like this either. So I think, quality-wise, is a 3. I think it's a 3 to a 2.5, like, on that path. And then the 3, those points and all that, all of them are going up to the setup and the like the Irene stuff. That's all that's going to. But everything with like Zara, like, it could have been handled so much better. Just straight up, so much better. And it was a really shitty way of explaining how got Jill and how all of this is being handled, and the whole like condition. Like, I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fine. That's completely fine. It's the same and all that with any other thing that I don't like and all that. If someone likes it, that's fine. Me, personally, even as a fairy tale fan, I don't like it. Like, so I'm just being honest, but that's all for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy fairy tale normally as much as I do, like, especially not this week, then you know where to hit that like, you know where to hit that subscribe. But that's all for me. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys though next time.